Hey guys, how's it going? I hope you're having a really good day. I'm continuing with my Janet Jackson discography journey, and we have made it to her ninth studio album from 2006 called 20YO. And the title is referring to her third studio album from 1986, Control, which was released 20 years prior to this album. Control was the album that put her on the fast track to fame and notoriety. It's when everything changed forever. It's such an iconic album. It has her hits such as Nasty, Control, The Pleasure Principle. She pretty much disregards her first two albums that came before Control, her self-titled debut record and Dream Street. They weren't perceived in the greatest light. A lot of critics didn't like them. The general public, a lot of music listeners don't really go back to those albums. They don't really acknowledge them when it comes to Janet's discography. I didn't even know they existed until I went on this Janet Jackson discography journey. And Janet has pretty much disowned those two albums, which is understandable. I mean, they're not the greatest. Her iconicness and her mainstream notoriety started with Control, and each album afterward, Janet and the Velvet Rope, and so on and so forth. So here we are with 20YO from 2006, and I'm looking at the track list, and I imagine that I probably heard a couple of these songs before. It came out in 2006 when I was a teenager, so I imagine I probably heard some of these tracks before, but none of the track listing looks familiar to me. Like always, if I start listening to a song and it sounds familiar, I'll let you guys know. But before we get into 20YO, I actually made an error on my previous Janet video for Demita Joe, and I accidentally skipped over one of the tracks. Track number 12, I Want You, and I said that I would go back to this song because I missed out on it when I did my Demita Joe first listen. So I'm gonna go back to Demita Joe for a second and listen to track number 12, I Want You.
Feels like I'm going in circles. Should've let you stay for the night. It's like a season when it comes together. You know that I want you, and you know that I need you. I'm going out with guys I wanna go to places that I've been before. How I wish it was you calling me. I want it to be you. You know that I want you, and you know that I need you. I need you, right? Gonna be this great. Of course I love music. I mean, I come from a musical family. That's all I ever did was listen to music. I remember coming home from school. As soon as I would come home, I would go straight up to my bedroom. I'd turn on the radio and do my homework right away.
That's what I would do. And I can totally understand what Janet was saying there. I remember being in high school, and it's odd because when I was in junior high, I never really listened to music. I wasn't a big music guy. I didn't really buy albums when I was in junior high. But everyone else did. Everyone else was obsessed with music when I was in junior high, even elementary school. It wasn't until I hit high school that something happened. Something clicked in my head. I just suddenly became obsessed with music. I started buying albums. Literally every single week, I would buy 2 albums, 3 albums at a time, and I would just get lost in the music. I would come home, I would go straight to my bedroom, I would turn on the radio, and I would just listen to music. I became a music addict starting in high school, and my life changed forever after that. When it comes to the song itself, I didn't think it was very memorable. I thought it was kind of boring, to be honest with you. It fit in with the rest of the album of Demita Joe, but I don't think it's really a song I'll go back to. I didn't find it that interesting. I found it a little lackluster, and it's nothing to really write home about. So that's my impression of the song. However, even though I didn't find the song that memorable, I do like the lyrics in this particular song. I'm going out with guys, I don't want to go to places that I've been before. They pitch in the same game. Boy, it's a damn shame. How I wish it was you calling me. I want it to be you holding me. Boy, it needs to be you kissing me. So she's going out with all these different guys, and she is being taken to all these places she's been before. They're very repetitive. She doesn't want to go to these same places with all these different guys. She wants to go to these places with the guy she's thinking about, the guy she's really in love with. Alrighty, so I got that out of the way finally, and now we can move on to 20 Years Old from 2006, and we will start with track number 1, Intro, which is 53 seconds. Again, she has interludes on this album just like all her other ones. I don't mind the interludes, to be honest with you. I'm not really getting sick of them. I know a lot of you have said that at this point you were getting sick of the interludes. I mean, I don't mind them. I mean, it's a Janet staple, and I don't mind if she continues to do these interludes going forward. Anyway, let's get into it. Track number 1, Intro 20. Alrighty.
There's something to be said for not saying anything. I've talked about racism, spousal abuse, empowering women, children. I've talked about a lot of things. What do I talk about this time? I've covered a lot in my 20 years.
You really did.
But I want to keep it light. I don't want to be serious. I want to have fun. That's what I do know.
What you talking about, shawty? Don't hurt me, look sexy, talk dirty.
For me, it's an attitude that can be tiring fun. My body is an overdrive, and a heavy inside, baby. Nothing but a girl's baby, because now you're feeling what I want, baby. Yeah, I'm gonna keep your body thumping.
Alrighty, so that was track number 1, Intro 20, and then that progressed into track number 2, So Excited, featuring Kia. I don't know how I feel about that song. The production, I felt like I wasn't gelling with it. There was something about the production I wasn't liking. The lyrics themselves, I really like. They're your standard Janet lyrics. She's obviously talking about sex. She's being playful. I'm hot, come on, so get it ready, and I'll open up my spot for you anytime you want me to. So we have your standard Janet lyrics. She's talking about dancing and having fun, sex and whatnot, hooking up. I don't know how I feel about the song. I feel like, to me, it's not a song I would really go back to, unfortunately. And I understand what she's trying to do. Like she said in track number 1, the intro, she's saying how she doesn't want to be as serious. She wants to have more fun. She wants to be more playful. And that definitely shows in this track here, So Excited. But to me, I felt like it was a little lackluster. I didn't really care for it. It is a fun song, but as the track suggests, So Excited, I wasn't very excited about it. I'm just gonna be honest. Anyway, let's move on to track number 3, Show Me.
You know I've heard everything. Oh, baby, this time you stay next to you. But the thing is, boy, you don't like work, and I'm telling you, how bad do you want it? Oh, show me. How bad do you need it? How bad do you need it? Everything. Oh, baby, this time you want it. You say, how bad do you need it? How bad do you need it? Show me. How bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? Just speak out of the words. All my ladies say S-H-O-Me, me. See, I hear you over there. My ladies say S-H-O-Me, me. How bad do you want it? Oh, show me. How bad do you need it? 'Cause actions speak louder than words.
Alrighty, so that was track number 3, Show Me. I'm going to be honest with you guys, I am not feeling this album, and we are only 3 tracks in. There's something about the production that is rubbing me the wrong way. I don't know what it is. It feels like it's not finished. It feels like, especially this song in particular, it feels like it's the beginning stages of being produced, and they just kind of stopped halfway through and just released the song without finishing it. I mean, I don't know anything about song production. I don't know what goes into making a song, really. I don't know how much time goes into making a song. But to me, it feels like it's not finished. And once again, this was a boring song. It wasn't memorable. I wasn't enjoying it at all. I mean, obviously, there are a lot of songs I don't like in this world, but I can appreciate certain songs I don't like if they at least get me on the dance floor and they get my body moving and they make me feel something. This song wasn't even doing that. It wasn't even getting me excited. It wasn't getting me motivated to dance. It wasn't getting me motivated to go to the dance floor. It was... To me, it sounded a little hollow. I don't know, I feel like if we had never heard of Janet Jackson before and this was her debut record or her sophomore album, I feel like the general public would even give her a second glance. And since this is a tribute album to her Control album from 20 years before, I'm feeling like it's not a very good tribute. I mean, I could be totally off the mark here, but I'm just telling you guys my honest opinion. And I will say, this is probably the first Janet album I've listened to so far where I'm actually not really motivated to continue on with it, even though I have to and I will. I'm not going to be excited about it. I feel like at least with her debut album and Dream Street, knowing that they were bad going into those first listen videos, I could at least, kind of play on that and have fun to them and kind of make fun of them and be playful. This, I feel like, so far into her career, I feel like there aren't really any excuses, and I'm not having fun. So anyway, I'm gonna keep going. I'm determined to listen to the rest of this album. Who knows, maybe it'll turn around, maybe it'll get better. It's happened before. Anyway, let's get to track number 4, Get It Out Me. I can't even fake being excited at this point. Alrighty, and that was track number 4, Get It Out Me. So this is the very first time during a first listen video where I can't even motivate myself to move my body and dance to a song. Even to a song I don't even like. I mean, there's lots of times where I'll be listening to a song and I don't necessarily like it, but the beats and the production are they're just moving my body. I'm just getting down to it. I'm not doing anything. It's just my body reacting to the song. My body's not even reacting to these songs. And I don't know what she was thinking. Again, maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe a lot of you love this album, and I'm sorry if you do. Maybe I'm just not hearing something, but how the mighty have fallen. There's just nothing memorable about this album. I mean, I just listened to track number 4, Get It Out of Me, and it's been a couple minutes already, and I don't even remember what the song was about. I don't even remember what it sounded like. I mean, it is what it is. Let's move on to track number 5, and Do It To Me. With you, it's whatever your pleasure is. To give me pleasure, that's why I call on you. Well, whenever I need pleasure, I'm definitely not going to listen to this album. I mean, thinking back to her other albums like Janet, The Velvet Rope, All For You, even Tamina Joe, even Control, there were songs on those albums that made love to my ears, made love to my body. I literally orgasmed listening to some of those songs for the first time. And I'm having the complete opposite with this album. It's going in the opposite direction is what it should be. I'm not getting hot, I'm not getting bothered, I'm not having the urge to strip, I'm not sweating, I'm not getting horny listening to this album, I'm not having the urge to jump on a stripper pole and act like a stripper, I don't have the urge to be all scandalous. I mean, this album is doing nothing for me. And I don't really want to use this as an allegory, but I will. In some relationships, you'll meet someone for the first time and you fall head over heels and you start dating them and the lust is real and you just want to pounce on them, you just want to rip their clothes off, you just want to make love to them each and every day, you just want to wake up beside them, you just want to kiss them, you just want to hold them. But then over time, something disappears, the magic goes away, and it feels like a chore. You don't want to make love to them anymore, you're not into it. Kind of irritates you and you don't really want to be around them anymore, which is unfortunate. It happens in a lot of relationships. The passion just goes away. That's what I'm experiencing with this. The passion just isn't there anymore. I feel like the magic is gone, unfortunately, and it's so sad because I am rooting for Janet. I am rooting for her to succeed, especially after what happened during her Super Bowl performance in 2004 when the public was against her, the critics were against her. I want her to succeed and I want her to do well, but this was not the answer. Again, I might be overreacting, and if you like this album, kudos to you. But no, this album is just all kinds of no. I feel like there's something missing. I feel like Janet isn't really there, although she doesn't want to be as serious. She wants to have more fun. I'm not having fun listening to this album, and I feel like something is missing. I mean, I've listened to 5 tracks already, and I don't remember a single one of the tracks. None of them stands out. It's just noise to me. Anyway, let's move on to track number 6, and This Body.
Saw the girl, finest girl that you ever seen. Just sat by me and try to forget about this body of mine, this body of mine. Start shaking and moving around. Easy to do that. Think about what I like. Start shaking.
Stop getting gift shops. So this girl undercover Maximated. Talking, but I'm like the hell with her, 'cause I swear I
If I let you inside me, what would you do if I keep shaking and moving around?
Start shaking and moving all around. Well, none of that's gonna be happening in this video. Track number 6, This Body. I mean, I don't know what to say. I have nothing to say. No words. I mean, I finished listening to the song 30 seconds ago. I have no words. I don't know what to say. I'm struggling to find something to tell you guys. And I'm Ariel. Ursula took my voice. I'm sorry. So far, I've listened to 6 tracks, and I don't remember a single one of them. Not a single one stands out. Not one. Why? Why is this happening? I don't know if you guys experienced this when you were listening to the album. This album has been out now for 14 years, so you guys have had a lot of time to listen to it, to analyze it. Maybe a lot of you like it. To each their own. It is to the point where I'm not even reading the lyrics anymore. They're just noise. And the lyrics aren't even that interesting. I mean, I don't know how much fun Janet had recording this album. Maybe she had a lot of fun. But it's not coming through in her voice and her personality and her singing. She just sounds really bored. It almost feels like this was a chore. I don't know, I feel like her heart isn't in this album, and if it was, it's not coming across. So anyway, let's move on to track number 7, 20 Part 2, which is an interlude, and then I'll progress into track number 8, With You.
Strangely, I feel a connection with you, babe. More than I've been used to. I gotta get and I feel the need to say, baby, it's whatever, and I really mean it. Makes life so free, life so fun, and as crazy as it may sound, I ain't joking, baby. Things I like, can't tell me it's not right. When I'm with you, I gotta get and I feel the need to say, baby, it's whatever, and I really mean it. Things I like, can't tell me it's not right. The times we've shared together are some of the best times of my life. Until then, I'll just keep dreaming. 'Cause when I'm with those I'm so.
Alrighty, and that was track number 8, With You. Hands down, the best track on the album so far. This would be a track I'll go back to. It is a beautiful song, and to me, it's the highlight of the album so far. Finally, thank you. The gods, the Janet Jackson gods, have given me something. Thank you. I will say though, this album is a tribute to her Control album from 20 years before. To me, this album sounds nothing like Control. But this track in particular, track number 8, I mean, this doesn't sound like Control either, but it does take me back to old school Janet, like her Janet album or what have you. So this is classic Janet, track number 8 with you, and I really liked it. I think it's a very beautiful song, and to me, it's my favorite track on the album. To me, the only good track on the album so far. So let's move on to track number 9, Call on Me, Janet Jackson and Nelly.
Never thought this before, but I'm sure that the way I feel, I don't want it to go. Whether day or night, I never leave.
You don't have to be alone. I can meet it when you want. Baby, just pick up the phone. Get the middle girl, like it break me down. It's like I get caught in the middle, like it get caught up a little.
Whether day or night, I never leave.
You don't have to be alone. I can meet it when you want.
On me.
Meet it when you want. Baby, just pick up the phone and call on me.
It don't matter where you go, I can meet it where you want me to.
Alrighty, so that was track number 9, Call on Me, and I always get excited for a Nelly song because it's pure nostalgia. His voice always takes me back to junior high, and I like the production on this song. It was very cute and innocent in a way. In terms of the actual song, again, I feel like it's not the greatest, if I'm gonna be honest. But I would choose this song over the first 7 tracks off the album. So if I had to go back to this album again, which won't be a lot, I will definitely go back to track number 8 with you, and maybe track number 9, Call on Me. But again, I feel like it's not a very memorable Janet Jackson song. I imagine Call on Me, track number 9, it was good for the time in 2006, but now in 2020, I'm not really feeling it. So now let's move on to track number 10, 20, part 3 interlude. And I know how I said at the beginning of this video that I've actually enjoyed Janet's interludes. Up until now, I feel like the interludes on this album are not necessary, and I feel like they take away from the album, and they're just taking up track space, and the interludes do not make sense on this album. I wish someone would have told her during the recording of this album that interludes weren't necessary for this album, because they're not. But anyway, let's get into track number 10, part 3 interlude, and then I will progress into track number 11, Daybreak.
So wait, how old were we when we first met? How many years ago is that, Lynette? 78. That's like good times days.
It was. You were doing Penny.
Midnight and everyone's in the room, and I'm just waiting for the lights to go out. So I'm sneaking out to play tonight. Gonna take a taxi ride. Have fun with you, but it's so good I can't wait. I'll get back in bed before daybreak. Can't stay inside. I know I saw you last night. I'm around your time. Can't fall asleep. Have fun with you, but it's so good I can't wait. Back in bed before daybreak. Sit down the stairs, get started for the night. Smiling 'cause I'll be in your arms in a minute. I'm sneaking out to play tonight. Gonna take a taxi ride. Have fun with you, but it's so good I can't wait. Hurry, I'll get back in bed before daybreak.
Alrighty, and that was track number 11, Daybreak. I actually liked this song compared to all the other songs. I mean, it's nothing amazing, or it's not really an amazing standout, but compared to the rest of the album, I do like this song. And I like how, I was gonna say childish, but I say childish in the sense that it's youthful, and it's about sneaking down the stairs, get money for the fare. She even says, I can't sit still, I'm like a little child. Kind of takes me back to her Dream Street album, considering she was still a teenager when she recorded that album. It's kind of taking me back to that time period when she's feeling like a kid and she's sneaking down the stairs. Time is of the essence, so tell the driver to hurry up. So I thought it was a cute song, and I liked it. She also says, times like this I can't afford to miss, worth the risk of getting caught just to have your kiss. That definitely sounds like something a teenager would write or say, you know, they are gonna get caught for kissing their secret lover or what have you. Teenage love. And it's a cute song. So now we will move on to track number 12, Enjoy.
Wake up, 7 a.m. About time to do it again. How it feels to be stuck in the past. I just enjoy and celebrate. Enjoy the love we make. Enjoy, appreciate. Enjoy. Just enjoy the simple things. Enjoy the life brings. Do it now, never too late to try. And just enjoy it, celebrate, enjoy the love you
Alrighty, and that was track number 12, Enjoy. You what? I actually really like this song. I thought it was really catchy. It's already stuck in my head. It's a very catchy beat and melody. I feel like this is probably one of my favorite tracks on the album. You what? This album kind of is making a comeback, but that's not to say a lot because I feel like this album is still not very good. But I'm kind of working with what I have, and to be honest, I really liked track number 12, Enjoy. To me, it's one of the highlights. It just puts you in a good mood too. Something I haven't really been experiencing listening to this album yet, up until now. So let's keep moving along to track number 13, 20 Part 4, an interlude, and then that will progress into track number 14, Take Care.
I miss you. Glass of wine, candlelight, music made for quiet times. I'm feeling mellow. Take good care of me tonight, baby. Tonight, my bed is cold. I'm wishing you were near. I'll lay here and take care of it till you come home to me. I need you tonight, boy, it's driving me crazy. Yearning inside with this burning desire. At home, I'm so alone. I'm wishing you were here. 'Cause I'm in a sexy mood and only you can feel my need. I think that love me. Take care of me now. Yeah.
Alrighty, so that was track number 14, Take Care, and this is a classic, sensual Janet song that we've heard time and time again from her other albums. And because we've heard it time and time again, I mean, we've heard this sort of song before from her. It's more relaxed, the lyrics are seductive, and she's kind of moaning in parts. We've heard it time and time again, and I felt like the song was a little boring. I definitely feel like it's at the bottom when it comes to her more sensual and calming songs, and I honestly didn't really care for it. I felt like it was way too long. It was over 5 minutes. And I do like Janet songs that kind of go past the 4-minute, 3-minute mark. She has a lot of songs that I like that are like 5 minutes, 6 minutes. There isn't really anything new or innovative about this track or the whole album in general. I feel like she isn't really taking any risks. It's just blah. Even the songs at the beginning of this album, I did read some of the lyrics when I had to suffer through the actual songs. And from what I read, that a lot of the lyrics did sound very redundant of what we've heard before from Janet when it comes to, the sexuality, being provocative, being inside of her, all those sex references, allegories. We've heard them all before, and there's nothing new there. So anyway, let's keep moving along to track number 15, Love to Love.
Be the kind of joy I need.
Alrighty, and that was track number 15, Love to Love. This song, again, it was painfully boring. The lyrics, once again, I mean, we've heard this sort of song from Janet before. The lyrics, your kisses got a poetry that leaves me shaky in the knees. We've heard this before. It's very redundant. I don't normally do this, but as I was listening to the song, I was actually kind of fast forwarding it, which I don't ever do because I like to listen to a song in full. But I just I couldn't bring myself to listen to the song in full. It just kept going on and on. I just wasn't interested in it. So track number 15, Love to Love, no. Let's move on to track number 16, Outro 20, Part 5, and that will progress into the final track of the album, track number 17, Roll With You.
20 years. Time flashes by like lightning in the sky. 20 years of questions come down to who am I?
It's quiet.
All right, it's 10 to 6. You've got to go, because I've got to go. Bonus. Oh, baby, pop. Follow my directions, you will be okay. Expect nothing's gonna let it knock. Ready or not. Love everything you do. Wanna do it all night with you. It drives me crazy. Now roll with it, roll, baby, drop. Do it different moves that keep driving me insane. Come on, baby, run. Come on, baby, run. I just roll with you. On the floor with you. All the sexy way you move, laying it down.
Well, all I have to say is thank God that's over. Track number 17, Roll With You, I mean, it's whatever at this point. I honestly don't care. I'm very disappointed in this album, and Janet, I mean, she knows better, she deserves better, and I'm deciding if I want to give this 1 thumbs down or 2 thumbs down. I have to give it 2 thumbs down. At this point in her career, she knows a lot better, and this album is just all kinds of no. This was the complete opposite direction she should have gone. I don't know what direction she should have gone down, but it wasn't this. And there was something missing. I feel like the passion was gone, the energy was gone. I feel like this album was a chore, that she had to put it out, that it was rushed out. And there's nothing memorable about it. There's a couple of tracks I did enjoy. Some of the highlights, With You. I mean, I'm trying to find the golden nuggets here. I'm trying to work with what I have. I liked With You. With You is probably my favorite track on the album. I did like Enjoy. To some extent, I did like Daybreak. And I think that's it. The first half of this album was god-awful and horrendous. The second half was a bit better. I did enjoy the second half a bit more, but that's not saying much considering the album as a whole just wasn't very good. There were a couple interludes I liked, but overall I feel like the interludes weren't necessary. And what a shame for an album that is celebrating one of her most iconic albums, Control from 1986. It's a shame that this fell flat on its face. I don't understand the connection between this album and Control. I don't know if she was trying to make this a tribute album to Control, but it sounded nothing like Control. So I'm going to say that the highlight of the album is the album artwork. It's absolutely gorgeous. She looks beautiful. She looks stunning like always. She's glowing. But that's the highlight for me. The album artwork. And maybe track number 8, With You. And that's it. There was nothing progressive about this album. There was nothing experimental. She wasn't trying anything new. It was very redundant. The lyrics were redundant. The music was redundant. And honestly, I was just bored of the whole thing. I don't understand how somebody could like this album if you had already listened to her whole discography up until this point. And that's not throwing shade to anybody who likes this album. I don't understand how somebody who has been with her from the beginning, who has listened to her albums from the beginning, and then has come to this record and actually enjoys it. I don't know how that's possible. For me, this falls near the bottom with her debut at Dream Street. And like I said before at the beginning of this video, I was rooting for Janet. I love Janet. I love her music so much. I really do think she is underappreciated when it comes to her discography. She has some really great albums, but you just don't hear a lot about Janet Jackson or music. I mean, a lot of people don't play her music, and it's sad because she has some seriously good music out there, but this is a pretty bad record. I am remaining optimistic though for Discipline and Unbreakable, but this kind of put a damper on my Janet Jackson journey. I'm not as motivated to continue on as I was before, up until Davina Joe. But I will keep going on. I have 2 albums left. So what did you guys think of the album when it was released and now listening to it in 2020? What are your opinions on it? What were people saying when this album was released? What are your favorite tracks, if there are any? Maybe you think I'm psychotic. Maybe you think I'm insane and stupid. Maybe you think this album is amazing. To each their own. I just wish there were songs on this album that got my body moving, that gave me the urge to dance. But there was none of that. So I think that's all I wanted to say. Next, we will be moving on to a Discipline, so keep an eye out for that video. You can find me on Instagram, you can find me on Twitter, you can message me, you can tell me other artists I should check out. I'm open to any music from any decade. I'm always discovering new music. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Take care.